You're going to need a few things to get started. First of all, you'll need your iris folded templates for the card making, which you can get in my shop or create yourself with cardstock and X-Acto knife. You'll also need some blank greeting cards, which you can get at Michael's or your local craft store. You want some Elmer's glue, clear tape, and then either a paper cutting device of some sort or just a plain old scissors. Additionally, you'll need a variety of magazines and catalogs with good colors and patterns in them. First thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your template. So choose one of the iris folded greeting card templates and a folded card that has a good color pattern that you like. Next, you're going to page through your magazines and catalogs, and you're going to just rip out colors that you love. So choose colors that work well with the template you chose and the folded card that you chose. Look for pages with good patterns and good colors, and you can also choose things that are not the full page, but just find things that are around an inch wide and at least 2 to 3 inches long. Next, you're going to take your magazine and your pages that you've ripped out, and you're going to cut them into 1-inch strips. You can use your paper cutter or just a scissors is just fine. Once everything's all cut up, you're going to fold all of the little strips of paper. Now for the fun part. We are going to start making the cards. So what you're going to need here is your strips of folded paper, your template and cards, and then also the tape, and if you need it, your scissors handy. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taping the strips of paper to the back of our template. After everything's taped down, you're going to glue it all onto the folded card that you've got there. So as we get started, you're going to have a choice to decide how you want your strips to be placed onto your card. You can go left to right, you can choose to go top to bottom. You can kind of just experiment with how you want to do this. So in this video here, I'm going to show you how to go left to right. You can also choose to go into a spiral, which I'll show you a more advanced card style later. What you're going to do is just start with one strip of paper, so choose a color you like, and you're just going to place it down onto the card, and you're going to tape it down on the back. So you can choose to start somewhere just on one of the edges, and whenever you do this, you're always going to have the folded portion of the strip towards the inside, as opposed to having the unfolded part that has the rough edge it gives it kind of an unfinished look. So as I said, we're going to go left to right, so you can go ahead and just tape it down on one of the sides there. Sometimes you'll also want to rip off the excess. You won't need all of that extra stuff. At the end you can cut it off, but for now you can rip it off if you'd like. The good thing about this style is that you also get to flip it over and see what it looks like before you tape it down. So you don't have to commit to anything right away, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it's helpful to rip off a bunch of strips of tape early. I like to just set it on my scissors or somewhere accessible so that it's easy to grab when you need it. And then you will just continue the process. So just grab another strip with a fun pattern that you like, and then place it down right next to the last one you just did. Again, remember you can flip it over to check to see what it looks like, move it around. Once you've filled in your card with all of the strips of paper and it's fully covered, you can flip it over and see your final product there, or almost final product. Our final step then is to trim off any extra if you have any. And then what we're going to do is take our Elmer's glue, and you just want to do a light gluing on the back. Sometimes it's helpful if you want to use a paintbrush or something like that to get it on really thin and smooth. Once it's all glued down, you also might want to put a heavy book on it later just to flatten it out again. And then it will be nice and smooth, and then you can use this as a base. It can be a card in itself, or you can then embellish it later with glitter or sequins or writing or whatever you'd like. Here's one more little example of a slightly more advanced card. This one has some text as well as the heart on it. And so you can see how I'm going to be choosing to just choose one of the patterns that I like to fill the text in completely, so I'm not doing any iris folding on the top. And then I am taking the strips from the same color that I chose to put behind the text and then incorporating a couple other colors which I'll use to iris fold into a spiral in the heart.